What is going on, guys? If you're enjoying the other day with Daryk, here's a couple things that I have been thinking about that is really awesome about this podcast. One, I use Anchor to create this podcast. It's free. The creation tools are right there, all within the app, all on your computer, where you can edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you also, so you don't have to worry about RSS feeds. You don't have to worry about how to get it there or looking at analytics on different platforms. It goes straight to Spotify and Apple and many more that you can listen to podcasts on. You make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So anybody who listens, you can make money from. If you have a ton of podcast listeners, you can make money from it. If you have just a little bit and you're starting from the bottom, now you're there. All you got to do is use Anchor. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Let me tell you how to do it. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor, ANCHOR.FM to get started. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. I can't wait to listen to your podcast. What is going on, everybody? This is your host, Daryk Gansky, and you are listening to the Other Day podcast. We are coming back with episode number 7, and I'm coming off of a fresh run around the neighborhood, getting after it. And today's topic I want to talk about in my head that I have been thinking about. I'm naming it, I'm phrasing it, whatever you want to call it. I'm naming it the Pinnacle. The Pinnacle can be however you want to imagine it. Maybe there was different circumstances in life that got you to the pinnacle, that got you to the point, that got you to the peak, if you will. I know there's several moments in my life that have gotten me there. And when I refer to the pinnacle, I'm talking about the top of the top, the best moment you can think of in your life. Maybe where, for me, it's I've achieved something. That's a lot of what my goal setting is based around. Maybe I've achieved something. Maybe I have earned something. Maybe I've, received something or had something given to me that is quite breathtaking and quite something that I've been dreaming about. And, we talked last week a lot about pushing through hard times and keeping your head up and pushing through the block and finishing at the whistle. And here you are, you're at the whistle. You're at the pinnacle, you're at the peak. And it's the peak. And now you can think of it in a lot of different ways. One book that I received recently, it's called The Motive, and it talks about two types of managers or two types of leaders in this world. And it talks about how some are reward-based managers and some are responsibility-based managers. And what they mean by that is if they receive a reward, they are very focused on the reward aspect, very focused on the achievement, and very not humble about receiving the award. Let it be the head coaching position or a CEO job or a director position, or whether it be anything that you achieve something that earns you a little bit of power. Maybe you can be reward based and you can just focus on, I have it, I earned it, I want it, and this is how it's going to be, and this is how I am. Or you can be responsibility-based and do something with that award and do something really awesome with that earning. A lot of the great CEOs of this world are very, very much so responsibility-based. They take their position as a CEO as a servitude, if you will, towards the corporation and towards the company. They take that time very seriously to make sure that they are giving everything they can to their employees and making sure that those employees are the best that they can be for the company. That's oftentimes what makes great companies. But, you could be on the opposite side of things and be like, I am the CEO and this is my way or the highway kind of thing. And you hire employees based off of, you hire employees and don't think any more of them because they're supposed to be directors. But anyways, go read The Motive. It's a great book. Not doing it justice here, trying to explain it to you. But, my point, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to is being a responsibility-based leader, if you will, can get very, very lonely. Being a responsibility-based person and making achievements in life can get very, very lonely. I think of what's happened in these past weeks that are coming up, and I'm a huge sports fan, and I look at people like, LeBron James just winning his fourth NBA title with the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, that's huge. One of the things he talks about, and I don't know how true this is, he could be putting it on for the press, but one of the things he talks about is how much he enjoys the process instead of the finalization of that title. He enjoys being with his teammates, he enjoys being with those around him, and he enjoys those hard times making it to the top. That one night is very sweet to make it to the top and to achieve something, but once you've achieved it, it's very lonely oftentimes because there's nobody else around that put in the work that you did. And if I'm being honest, I feel some of that quite a bit. Very often when I achieve goals, I achieve things that I've set out for or always dreamed of having, and just finding that nobody else is there with you, and that you're alone oftentimes up there. But if you look around, sometimes maybe somebody's done something similar, and you can work with them on talking about how to push further. Maybe it be an achievement, like in my instance, a couple things that I have on my mind are this master's program and going to the University of Oklahoma and being one of the only ones in my friend group or near me that is going to go through that same process. And so I think about undergraduate and going to UT, and some of the best times of my life being with my roommates and spending time on campus. But it's going to be quite the opposite of that. I'm going to be alone, putting in extra time on my own to better myself, which is awesome in the long run, but it's different. It's quite a bit different. And so, it's kind of something to think about. Once you get to that pinnacle, I've been accepted, and made it. And now it's, I'm very responsibility based and focusing on what's next. What do I have to do? And one of the things that I enjoy doing about some of that is building a team and building people around me and building that community to come alongside and maybe sharing the joy of our earnings together, instead of doing it alone, because you never want to do something alone. That's a huge part of the lesson that I talked about last week that I just didn't mention, and that is a huge thing that has been on my heart and been on my mind lately is you don't ever want to do something alone, man. Whether you're on a team, whether you're at work, whether you're in extracurriculars, whether you're just in life, don't ever try to do it alone, because it's not necessarily about that. It's not necessarily about the achievement itself and achieving it. It could be about being in that place with other people at that time. Going back to my example with LeBron, it's all about the process. It's all about the team. It's all about the people that he pulls together around him. It's all about them doing it together. LeBron James is a great player. Nobody can ever say that he's not that. He may not be the greatest in a lot of people's books, but he is a great player. But LeBron James could never win a championship by himself. So, there's a difference there. And he enjoys it, and has made it to the top. And so, just kind of sitting here wondering, wondering who's in your community, or who is in my community, and who's in this thing that we're gonna pull out of this together. In 2020, it's a weird year. It is insane. There's a lot going on. I achieved a couple of dreams this year. I'm going to get a master's degree, and have been accepted into a program to do so. I've also gotten involved with owning property to deer hunt for the rest of my life on, and I am so excited about that. But in reality, like, none of that really matters to anybody if you don't have fun doing it, and as far as deer hunting, I've done that with my family forever, and that's exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life, is have something like deer hunting where every fall we can go and enjoy ourselves together, and be in that and revel in that together. Last year it took me from October 1st until December 21st, so almost 2 2/3 months of hunting to get a buck on the ground. And I'll never forget, that deer is on the wall right next to me right now, but that was the biggest sigh of relief ever. It's because we put in the time, we made the effort, and he came through. God came through and did it, and brought him into our lives. So that's awesome. And that's a lesson learned. Just keep your head up, not keep your head up, pick your head up, push through the block, and play through the whistle. So, I guess coming back to my main point is who's in your community. In that situation, my mom and my dad are. I go deer hunting with them every single weekend in the fall. A lot of my friends make fun of me because I'm gone all fall, but that just is who I am. I'm a deer hunter at heart, and that's it. Period. I'm always going to do that, and I always will do that. But, I'm sitting here wondering what's the next step as far as my education. What's the next step as far as my career goes and whatnot, and who's that community that's going to start reveling around me and going to start being that group that really takes it somewhere, and we never know where it's going to go. We never know what it is and where it's going to go. Life can take you in different directions, but who's going to be in that group? Who's going to be that group that takes that company to the next level? Who's going to be that group that takes that team to the championship? Who's going to be that core that spends every day together, talks to each other all the time, that loves each other no matter what, that sacrifices for each other, that does things that are out of the ordinary for a friendship, that does something out of the ordinary for a family, and takes it to the next level. So those are kind of the thoughts that I was left with today, and lots running through my head. It's lonely at the top sometimes. So look around and see who's going to be there with you. Look around and say, you're coming with me. Or, oh, they're here with me. We can do this. We can do this together. And make sure that they know that you're counting on them, so they can know that they can count on you to sacrifice for them. Know that it's on. It's on, because tomorrow you're going to wake up and the sun's going to come back up, and you got to do something, because you can't lay in bed all day. You got to do something, and you got to make the most of it. No matter what year it is, no matter the circumstances, you got to lock arm in arm and go after it. It's 2020. So I hope you are all doing well. I hope you are all staying safe. Take a look around at your pinnacle, at your mountaintop right now, and see who you got. See who's on your team. See who's locked arms with you and going to spiritual battle and battling with you alongside you and on to the next day. So I really hope you're enjoying this podcast, and thank you so much for listening to another episode. I know these are short and sweet, but these are tidbits that are just coming through on a daily basis or on a weekly basis that I'm pulling out and I want to talk about. So I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you so much for listening and all the feedback y'all have been giving me. This is incredible. It's great to see a Pinnacle like a podcast, for example, and see who's listening and who actually wants to hear me talk. So it's incredible to hear y'all's feedback, and thank you so much, guys. I love y'all, and I'm here to sacrifice for y'all and here to get after it. I mean, that's what we're here for, just to kind of work on each other to make each other a better person and make this place a better world, and maybe leave some kind of mark after this is all over. So thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next week if possible. And look forward to hearing y'all's feedback and reviews and whatnot. But I will see you next time, folks. Thank you so much for listening to the Other Day podcast. I'm your host, Daryk.